Imagine children not being able to be children. Imagine not even swimming in public pools out of fear. Imagine feeling unsafe in your own home. Imagine more than 9,000 children showing symptoms of a deadly disease. Imagine living in the era of fear.
The 1940s. FDR was elected president. Not only were Jeeps invented, but so were M&Ms. And Mount Rushmore was completed. But also in 1940, the outbreak of the fatal virus polio occurred.
It got really hot in the summertime, and we would go swimming. We were happy-go-lucky kids.
I had a pair of my grandfather's rubber boots on, and I was wading in the creek. And when I went to get out, I felt like something pulled in my leg. I went home and hadn't been home too long till I started running a temperature and was real nauseous and just kept going higher and higher. I was outside playing. I just didn't feel right. By the time I got inside the house to my mother, I told her I was sick. I had a headache. I was so dizzy. And after that, I just passed out.
Polio, an abbreviation for poliomyelitis, is an acute and sometimes devastating disease caused by a virus. The virus enters the mouth and multiplies in lymph node tissues in the throat and intestine. Small numbers of virus enter the blood and go to other sites where the virus multiplies more extensively. Another round of Vimeria, virus in the bloodstream, leads to the invasion of the central nervous system, or CNS, the spinal cord, and brain, the target sites struck by the virus. In 1952 alone, 58,000 people had polio, 13 to 20,000 people were paralyzed, and 1,000 people faced the fatal effects of this disease. A majority of them, unfortunately, were children.
And the problem with polio is that it lives in the person for up to 2 or 3 months. It's typically about 10 days, but lives in the body and spreads to the lymph nodes, gets into the blood in a very small number of people, about 1% of infected cases. It gets into the central nervous system, or the CNS. So if you see anybody carrying crutches, they're in that 1%. So that means a lot of people were infected and merely transmitting the virus.
One of the many ways to protect nurses and people from the virus was to put patients in iron lungs.
The iron lung acted as a respiratory system for paralyzed patients.
Then along came the hero, Jonas Salk, the man who helped create a cure for this virus.
He won over 6 medals, including the Presidential Medal of Freedom, the Lasker DeBakey Clinical Medical Research Award, and the Meteorist Service Medal. Not only did he give the vaccine to himself and his family, he also didn't patent it and ended up having an institution named after him, named the Salk Institute for Biological Studies.
Jonas Salk was born October 28, 1914, and was the oldest of 2 siblings, and realized at a very young age he wanted to change the world. As a child, he wasn't very good at sports, but he excelled in academics.
As a child, I was not interested in science. I was really interested in things human. If you like, the human side of nature. And I continue to be interested in that. That's what motivates me. And in a way, it's the human dimension that has intrigued me.
Salk graduated from Townsend Harris High School, a school for gifted students. He always got great grades and studied hard. When he turned 16, he entered the College of the City of New York to study law. Then he realized medicine was his true calling, so in 1934 he enrolled in the College of Medicine of New York University, from which he graduated in 1939. After college, he worked at a hospital in New York from 1940 to 1942, when he went to the University of Michigan. There, he helped develop a flu vaccine. In 1944, he was appointed research associate in epidemiology, or the study of the causes, distribution, and control of disease. And in 1946, he was made assistant professor.
Then, in 1952, polio finally met its match when Jonas Salk found the vaccine. Even though it was founded in 1952, it would take years of testing to make sure that it actually worked. They tested on monkeys, and they injected them with polio and then gave them the vaccine to see if it really worked. Then, in 1953, Jonas gave the vaccine to him and his own family, and then it was licensed for him to be able to give it to America. After the vaccine came out, cases dropped 96% in 6 years.
The good news would be that there is a vaccine that protects us and immunizes us against the AIDS virus. Are we going to have that good news, do you think, in your time and mine?
My expectation is that we will solve the problem. It's just a matter of time, and it's just a matter of strategy. Now, why do I say that this is the case? It's because I think solutions come through evolution. It comes through asking the right question, because the answer pre-exists. But it's the question that we have to define and to discover and to define.
You mean when you asked the question about how to defeat polio, the answer was already there?
Mm-hmm. In a way, if you think of David and Michelangelo, it was in the stone, but it had to be unveiled and revealed. You don't invent the answer, you reveal the answer.
From nature.
From nature.
From the life process.
Right.
Jonas Salk died of heart failure on June 23, 1995 at his home in La Jolla, California. With his groundbreaking vaccine, Salk had earned his place in medical history. He will always be remembered as the man who stopped polio.